Guys, we are snowed in at the warehouse today. It's just iced over. So I'm going to take this opportunity to tell you about 3 categories of items that it's very likely you'll be able to find around where you are. Without further ado, let's get started. Rusty, how do you... Hi guys, it's Rusty. How you do, cousins? Thanks for stopping by. We got our favorite feline friend at the warehouse, Furthermore, back here, going to join us today. I want to tell you about 3 categories of items that can sell really well that I find at almost every single thrift store, estate sale, garage sale, you name it, antique store. I want to tell you about these because there's a high likelihood that you can find these in your local area and turn a profit. Let's get started. All right, category number 1 today, guys, is used shoes. Every single Salvation Army, Goodwill has lots of shoes. You can look for men's shoes, women's shoes. It just depends on what you're most interested in. I know a lot more about men's shoes for obvious reasons than I do women's shoes, but I also buy women's shoes on occasion if I find the right brands or if they're in the good enough condition. I'm going to give you a few examples of things I've found in the last 2 weeks. I've not even listed them yet, but I know I'm going to make some good money. This is a pair that I found recently, and I even had it on one of my sourcing videos right here. It's even got the tag still on it. It's a pair of Asics, and you can see the bottom of them. They're in basically new condition. They've never been used. This is the Gel Venture 6 is the model, but they're slick looking running shoes. Probably good for trail running, that sort of thing. And why did somebody get these and then give them away without ever using them? Who knows? Maybe they got them as a gift. Maybe they forgot to return them and it was past the expiration on, or they're, whenever they can return them. It doesn't matter, but I always keep a lookout for these because probably about every month I can find almost new or new shoes at used prices. Here's another example of that right here. This is a pair of New Balance shoes. These are the 1340 V3 run-in shoes in brand new condition. I paid $10 for these, and I paid $10 for the ones I just showed you. Probably be able to sell these for $50 to $60, and I can sell them new since they haven't actually been used before. Another category of shoe to look for is odd or strange or bizarre kind of looking shoes. As you can tell, this has an ergonomic design, how it's rounded on the bottom. Any type of shoe that's a specialty or custom shoe or is made for a specific purpose can sell really well on online platforms. This one is a MBT brand. I'm not familiar with it. If you look at the bottom, it's clearly been used because there's some crud in the grooves there, but that's very easy to clean. You just get a scrub brush and scrub it out. I like to take sometimes Clorox wipes or things like that and clean the sole edges. Usually that's about all you have to do. I can do a video here before too long talking about how to clean these items the best way, but suffice it to say, as long as you're willing to do just a little bit of work, repair work and or cleaning work, you can turn some shoes that look kind of rough into very good looking things that'll sell for decent money. Final thing I'll show you in this category of used shoes is something I'm real excited about. I found them at a thrift store a couple weeks ago, and that's a pair of old Nike Air tennis shoes. Based on looking them up from the numeric code and also the date inside, this is from 2001. So a 20-year-old pair of shoes. You can see there's some heel wear there. Can't do anything about that, but it's already in really nice condition. Original soles inside. $5 for these. And this is exciting because Nike shoes, vintage shoes, and basketball shoes in general for Nike are highly collectible and highly sought after. So if you have some old ones just sitting in your closet, take a look and see what they're worth. Also, just don't pass by these just because they're used. In some cases, that's about the only way you'll find them anymore is if they're used, especially if they're old. Well, that's category 1, used shoes. Let's get to the next. On to category number 2. That would be used toys. I have an entire box or kind of container down here of stuff I've been collecting over the last few weeks, as well as an item here that's in a package. Yard sales and estate sales are great for this kind of stuff. Antique stores sometimes, and especially Goodwill's thrift stores, sometimes they have these in little baggies, little lots for one price for everything inside. Sometimes they have them priced individually. I look for specifically, and things that are hot right now are toys that were popular in the 80s and 90s. So things like G.I. Joes, Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, He-Man, things like that. If you go out to Walmart or Target today, you're going to see new toys of those genres coming out today. They've been out for about 20 to 30 years now, and there's a big resurgence, which means the popularity and the values of the old ones are at an all-time high right now. So here's a couple examples of what I'm talking about. These ones on top here are old Ghostbusters action figures. I'm going to pull them up here so you can see a little bit. This little lady right here, look at that. That's kind of creepy stuff. This guy also, he becomes a little skeleton. It's kind of scary stuff here. And these things can sell for some big money, these old vintage toys like this. Moving on, here's some newer ones, but we've got Spider-Man, Black Panther. These are kind of some larger ones, about 14 to 16 inches tall. Here's one of Kylo Ren from the Star Wars saga, a larger one. I need to put in some batteries to check this out, but as long as he works and it looks like there's a little speaker here he could talk. I mean, I basically paid 75 cents to $1 for each of these. And a lot of times these little tiny action figures you can find in little bags. Here's some examples of some Ninja Turtles. These three that I'm holding in my hand, here's the fourth one right here. These are all Ninja Turtles. These are the original ones from the late 80s. I've got all of their weapons, their size and their nunchucks and their swords and bow staffs and such in another little baggie some other place so I don't lose them. So I'll usually pull those out to photograph and list, but then whenever I don't want them getting lost, I'll put them in a little bag. When they sell, I'll fish them out, stick them together, and sell them that way. Here's something a little different. These are young children's toys, not necessarily action figures, but I find them in the same areas, and that's tiny little die-cast Thomas the Train toys. These are also really good. I find these for 25 cents a piece, and a lot of times I can sell an individual car for $10 or $15. It's a huge profit. Old Tonka Caterpillar or old Tonka trucks, things like that. These can go well. This box is also full of older cars, old Hot Wheels, Matchbox cars. All of these kinds of things can sell for really good money. Here's an old Rambo. This guy's from an old Chuck Norris TV series, the action figure. And the list goes on, folks. Definitely keep a lookout for these toys. The last thing I'll show you is be on the lookout for toys that have never been opened, boxed toys. All kinds of collectible action figures and different types of figurines that come from TV shows or movies, or even like little magazines, Mad Max, or things like, there's a variety of ones that you can have. This is an example of one called Monster High. It's no longer produced, and so to find these in the box is kind of rare, and they can sell for some really good money. So keep a lookout for this kind of stuff. Category number 2, used toys. Make sure you're keeping a lookout for that stuff. On to number 3. Category number 3. That would be old fishing lures. What I have here to show you is a little container. It has an original order form, and it's full of these vintage lures. Now, these ones I'm showing you are not particularly all that valuable. I'm just using these as an example. But you can see we've got some of these old, interesting, colored types of lures. These are probably from the 1960s, 1950s-ish. Here's another one, kind of speckled. It says T4 on the bottom of it. A lot of times these will say what the manufacturer is, or the name of that particular type of lure. The type of lure that it is corresponds to the type of fish, obviously, that you're trying to catch. These have, there's all kinds of different ones from different eras. The older, the better, a lot of times. The better condition is important. If you can find them in the original boxes, oftentimes the boxes themselves, empty, can sell for tons of money. Just because most of the time, whenever people would buy it, they'd take it out, they put it in their tackle box, but then they would just discard the box. So the boxes themselves are kind of rare as well. certain brands to look for. Hedon, I think that's correct. Somebody correct me if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but it's Heddon. Look for that brand. That typically does really well. But there's several different ones that go well. This one's kind of in a cruddy condition, but a little bit of cleaning, it'd polish it up nicely. I bought this whole container here of lures at an antique store for $10. The container, all of these, probably about maybe a dozen different lures. I'll probably sell this for $40 or $50, so that's not too bad. Pawn shops are also another great place to find old fishing tackle and lures. People will come in and they'll pawn the entire tackle box, and a lot of times they don't pull those out individually. They'll just turn around and sell the whole box. So if you can find a tackle box full of 50, 80, 100 different lures, you could maybe be into a lot of money in that. I've done that on multiple occasions. Sometimes I'll buy them on Facebook Marketplace, and then I'll sell them on an online store like eBay, because there's a larger audience out there. So, in summary, guys, you got 3 different categories: used shoes, used children's toys, and antique lures. Hey, good luck out there. I hope you make a buck or two. That's it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed yourself. And listen, if you feel like you learned something, if you're learning about items that you didn't know might be valuable and this could help you out, please consider subscribing, liking this video, and please give us a comment. Let us know what you thought. If there's questions you have, things that you want to learn how to do or how to sell, ask us. We'd be happy to help. Thanks, cousins. That's Rusty How To.